You know, the human body is an absolute marvel of engineering. Think of it as literally the most advanced piece of biological hardware on the planet. But let's be entirely honest with ourselves for a second, right? Our internal operating system isn't exactly flawless. I mean, from random software hiccups to these totally weird sensory lag spikes, we've all experienced these bizarre physical bugs. It's like sometimes this incredible machine just throws a terrifying error 404 right when you least expect it. So welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to treat your body like a cinematic sci-fi thriller and decode the absolute strangest real-life glitches you've probably experienced, but just couldn't explain.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're initiating a full, cinematic diagnostic scan of our own physical hardware. We've all been there, lying awake wondering if our system is totally failing. So today, we're going to systematically break down exactly what happens when the human operating system runs into a bug. And we're going to start from the very moment we try to power down. Phase 1. Sleep mode boot errors, diagnosing nocturnal system failures.
So our bodies have these highly complex routines for powering down at night and booting up in the morning. But sometimes, the synchronization completely fails. Let me set the scene for you. You wake up in a dimly lit bedroom. Your eyes flick open like a security camera rebooting, but the room looks slightly off. It's uncanny, like it was rendered by a brand new intern at a simulation studio. You try to move your arm, nothing. You try to scream, still nothing. And then, there it is, a smoky shadow figure just sitting on your chest. Seriously, why is there a shadow demon in your room? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer contrast here. On one side, it feels like a literal cinematic horror moment, a personal anxiety demon clocking in for its night shift. It's a genuine thriller movie scenario. But the biological reality? Your brain is simply wide awake while your body is still completely stuck in REM sleep. It's the ultimate biological lag spike. This totally terrifying glitch is caused by something called REM sleep atonia. See, REM sleep is that deep sleep phase where your brain intentionally and very gently paralyzes your muscles. Why? Well, so you don't physically act out your dreams and accidentally karate kick your partner in the middle of the night. When you experience sleep paralysis, your system just bugs out, and the two halves of you fall completely out of sync. Your mind clocks in for the day, but your body is still on its union break. But hey, what about when you're just trying to power down? You know the feeling, you're peacefully drifting off to sleep, sinking into this warm, comfortable cloud, and then, out of nowhere, boom, you violently jolt awake. Your entire body flinches like you literally just got sniped in a video game. What on earth is that about? Well, this is called a hypnic jerk, and it breaks down millisecond by millisecond. At T-minus 2 minutes, you're happily drifting off. At T-minus 1 minute, your heart rate naturally drops. But at T-minus 0.5 seconds, your brain, in its infinite over-caffeinated paranoia, misreads this sudden physical relaxation as death in progress. I mean, talk about a dramatic reaction. So at T0, the brain just slams on the emergency brakes. Scientists actually think this is a leftover anti-falling reflex from our tree-dwelling ancestors, basically meant to keep us from falling out of branches mid-nap. Okay, here's another terrifying sleep glitch for you. You've turned off the lights, quieted your racing thoughts, and right as you cross the border into dreamland, kaboom! A massive explosion goes off in the dark. You sit right up, your heart is pounding, you are ready to fight, but there's no one there. The room is completely silent. As utterly terrifying as it sounds, this is actually called exploding head syndrome. And despite that incredibly dramatic name, don't worry, your head doesn't actually explode. It's simply a harmless soundtrack glitch where your auditory neurons misfire during the sleep transition. Think of it exactly like a video game loading a massive explosion sound effect way too early in the scene. It's just a harmless audio bug. Let's move to and see how this builds into phase 2. Sensory matrix calibration fails when your hardware sensors misfire. All right, let's transition from sleep mode errors into waking life. Picture this. You're walking down the street and you feel that unmistakable familiar buzz in your jeans pocket. You reach down, you pull out your phone, and it's a completely blank screen. No notifications, no texts, not even a passive-aggressive low battery warning. So why do you feel a ghost in your pocket? Welcome to phantom vibration syndrome. You are essentially experiencing the haunting that lives in your pants. But look, it's not a ghost. It's actually your nervous system running predictive software based on your dopamine cravings. Your brain is so desperate for a digital ping that it literally misinterprets a tiny muscle twitch or even just the shifting of your clothes as a notification. It's basically Pavlov's dog, but the bell is a text message and the drool is a desperate need for social relevance. Then there are the bugs that hit you right in the mainframe, brain zaps. This feels like a tiny lightning bolt shooting across your brain. Or actually, it's more like someone tried to hotwire your consciousness with jumper cables. It lasts just half a second, but it hits like a pop-up ad for neurological instability. It often happens during medication adjustments, especially with antidepressants, but sometimes it's just your brain randomly deciding to update its firmware without warning. Your brain briefly just forgets how to be a brain.
Now, contrast that quick zap with a terrifying texture error, formication. The feeling is absolutely horrific. It feels like tiny claws and ants marching just under your skin. You scratch at it, but obviously nothing is there. The reality here is simply corrupted sensory textures. Your brain is receiving faulty touch data. So instead of saying all clear, your overclocked nervous system runs a debug mode on maximum paranoia and just whispers infestation in high definition. Phase 3. Rendering and playback artifacts, visual and memory lag spikes. So this is where we examine the moments your human OS really struggles to process the world around you. Let's say you're walking through a brand new hallway or talking to someone you literally just met, and suddenly you freeze. You know this exact moment. Down to the flicker of the light bulb, it feels like an exact replay. Why does this totally brand new moment feel perfectly mapped out? And this brilliantly illustrates the actual mechanics of déjà vu. First, you experience a brand new short-term event. Second, your brain accidentally bypasses your short-term storage completely. And third, that event is filed straight into the long-term memory drive. So instead of registering it as new information, your brain flags it as an old memory. For a split second, this playback glitch turns you into a meat-based time traveler with a faulty compass. But what about visual rendering errors? You're staring up at a bright blue sky, or maybe you're just zoning out in a super boring virtual meeting, and you see them. Those dodging translucent worms or little cobwebs drifting across your vision. And the crazy part? When you try to look directly at them, they dart away like seasoned video game characters. Yep, those are eye floaters. And unlike our memory glitches, these are actual physical objects. They're tiny clumps of protein or collagen suspended inside the gel of your eyeball. They are literally casting shadows right on your retina. So they aren't matrix bugs at all. They're just biojunk floating around in visual orbit inside your eyes. System optimized. You are interestingly patched. So the crucial point is, after looking at all these terrifying cinematic glitches, it's really important to pull back and look at the comforting scientific reality. You aren't broken. You're just interestingly patched. Your body isn't some finished, totally perfect product. From misfiring neurons to predictive sensory hallucinations, our systems are constantly adapting, predicting, and, occasionally stumbling. The next time your body freaks out for absolutely no reason, there is zero need to panic. You are just glitched right along with the rest of us. Which leaves us with a fascinating final question. What other hidden bugs in your human OS are out there just waiting to be decoded? Our biological hardware is full of these strange quirks, and honestly, understanding the science behind them makes them a lot less scary and a whole lot more fascinating. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay curious and keep learning about that amazing machine you live in.